Discover solutions to issues that affect your family and professional life with practical information to help you get past life's adversities. Take a proactive approach to power up your life with Rosalie's expert resources. Are you stressed out from work and family responsibilities? We have solutions to reduce stress and live healthier to prevent heart disease, the first cause of death in Florida that is preventable. Let's start with getting our life organized to relieve stress. Today, we use our home offices to run our family's everyday needs, or possibly a small business. Joining us with some tips to declutter our home office and relieve stress is Lori Marrero, founder of Living Order and Chief Executive Organizer of Clutter Diet Inc. and Certified Professional Organizer. She's here to help us declutter for success. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
Last year, I renovated my house and found a number of old things I was hoarding, and I had to work through it to let it all go. So why is it so hard for us to let go of the things that we've collected through the years?
Well, you know what? You were in a transition, so that's actually a common thread with people who are having organizing issues as you were doing renovation. So yeah, when you're in a transition, you are getting rid of old things and bringing in new things, and that's a very natural thing. But you know what else it is? It's an opportunity, as I'm sure you found. So you were able to make some decisions about things you had, and you were able to have a whole new space at the end.
What are your top 5 tips on how to organize our home for the new year and get it cleaned up?
Sure. You want to plan ahead before you buy. A lot of people don't think about preventing clutter, so you want to have a shopping list and you want to take measurements before you go to the store so that you don't have things coming in that are not going to be useful to you. Secondly, you want to have your usage determine your storage. So the most frequently used items you want to have in the most accessible places, right out there on the counter, right there visible. And then if you don't use something very often, make sure that's out of the daily flow of your life, up far away on a high shelf. Then thirdly, you want to further think about preventing clutter with your paper. So you want to print less, be a little more conscious before you hit that print button, and you want to unsubscribe to things that you don't need and try to get rid of some of that junk mail. Also, you want to group like things together. Now, this is a common concept in organizing, and still people don't really think about having, a station or a zone with all the tools that they need. And paper is the biggest problem that people report to us. So I wanted to give you an example of a mail sorting station. So you have an inbox, and you've got maybe a letter opener there with that, a trash can, and you also want to have a shredder. And I get really excited about all the new tools that come out. So, when people are sorting their mail, they usually have a lot to shred nowadays. And if you are going through your old stuff like you did with your renovation, you might find a lot of things that need to be shredded in bulk.
Do men take a different approach to organizing than women do?
Yes, usually men are more focused on function and women are a little more focused on the aesthetics. And that's fine. Either way, it's just that you really do have to make it work, and function should come first in your considerations, and then you can make it pretty after it works. So, the men kind of have the right idea, but we women want to make it look better, and that's good too.
So how can we get our spouse and our family more organized? It's a little more challenging.
Absolutely it is, because you've got other people's habits and behaviors to deal with. And really, the best thing is to think about making things visible and easy and obvious for everyone. Using labels is a great idea. Also, making it as simple as possible to put something away. We recommend using open containers like this mail basket. Put things right into it, things without a lid so that it doesn't require 2 hands to operate it. So, just think about the laziest way possible. That's usually the answer.
Any other quick tips before we go?
Oh, sure. You want to give everything a parking spot in your home. And that means, just having a home for all the things that you are going to look for, so you know exactly where they are. You can find them easily.
Thank you, Lori. With school districts across the nation facing budget cuts, technology in our children's classroom may not be as cutting edge as it should be. But there is help on the way. Joining us this morning to tell you how you can earn $25,000 in a technology grant is Steve Rappaport from Red Rock Reports and Quang Ha from Worth Avenue Group. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Rosalie.
Steve, why in this era of technology is there a lack of updated technologies in our classrooms?
Well, the simple answer is you get what you pay for. We spend about $600 billion a year on elementary and secondary education in this country. The federal government provides about 10% of those funds. But that 10%, that's $60 billion from the federal government, is terribly important because most of the state and local funds go to provide funding for basic operations, salaries, et cetera. So really the kind of technology that we put in classrooms really comes from the federal government. And those programs have been cut in recent years, and there are now thoughts of further cuts in educational funding from the federal government. So we really need to make an investment as a nation in building the kind of classrooms that our kids need that are technology rich. And that's the only way that we will really achieve that goal. It's by funding it.
Do you think U.S. schools have fallen behind the technology curve compared to other nations?
Well, I think in large measure we have, sort of in the general terms, depending on what you compare us with, we are anywhere from 15th to 40th in terms of the percent of our gross domestic product that's spent on education in general. And educational funding for technology has also lagged behind other nations, even nations like Singapore, for example, much further advanced than the United States in terms of building the kind of 21st century classrooms that we need for our kids.
So what can we do to help our local schools advance technology?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things we can do is help educate the schools, provide information on what type of products that are being used in other school districts, provide details on what pricing of different types of equipment, and really just provide support when it comes down to it.
Tell us about the Technology and Education Grant Giveaway Program.
Yeah, it's actually very simple. We at Worth Ave Group wanted a way to give back to education since it's one of our larger accounts or accounts around the nation. So it's very simple. Students and parents and anyone involved with the school can go to voteforteachers.com. They basically vote for their favorite teacher, and in the end, the teacher with the most votes will win an iPad 2 and 30 iPod Touches for their classroom, and then the school with the most votes will actually win $25,000 to spend on technology.
So how can our viewers enter our favorite Florida teacher?
It's very simple. They can go to voteforteachers.com. Basically, each student or person will vote individually.
Steve, do you think more corporations will take this new direction in the future to help out school districts so they become more technologically advanced?
Yes, I do, and we're seeing a lot of corporations now are getting involved in education, providing funding, and a lot of it actually flows through the states. Florida is a real leader in terms of using digital resources. Florida has really established a real goal to be much more digital in terms of curriculum materials, and of course the Florida Virtual School is one of the leading online schools in the nation. So I think partnerships with corporations really are providing significant funding for programs like that.
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
7,000 students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. Keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
A new nationwide survey finds that on average, pharmacists are significantly less likely to face questions from customers about vitamins and supplements as they do about over-the-counter products and prescription medications. Joining us this morning is Jim Morelli, national medical writer, with some great tips on how to speak to your pharmacist. Good morning, Jim.
Hi, Rosalie.
So Jim, tell us about this new survey and what it reveals or not on health questions at your local pharmacy.
Well, it found that not a whole lot of communication is going on between patients and pharmacists. Probably about half of patients will talk with the pharmacist when it comes to a prescription drug, but the numbers really drop off when we go over the counter or to vitamins and supplements, down to about 33% for OTC drugs and down to about 23% for vitamins and supplements. So I've teamed up with Nature Made to get the word out there on the survey that, look, the pharmacist is a valuable resource for you, someone who is willing and able to help and can really help you not only feel better, but certainly help you to stretch your healthcare dollar.
9 out of 10 pharmacists recommend that we take vitamins. So how do you know if you're taking the right vitamins?
Well, it's a good idea to get a baseline reading on what you're deficient in. That would really be ideal. So if you go to the doctor and get blood testing, you can probably find out. That's a really good way to start. And then you want to be guided by 3 things: quality, purity, and potency. And that's what the pharmacist will be guided by in making a recommendation on a brand. Purity and potency are verified by them, but also by an independent third-party verification, and that would be the USP, the United States Pharmacopoeia. And basically what this is telling us is that what's on the label is what's in the bottle, and that's extremely important when it comes to vitamins and supplements with anything, really.
So what vitamins do we ask for building up our immune system when we go see our local pharmacist?
Well, vitamin D, number one. Now, I know down in Florida you don't have too much of a problem getting sunshine. There's plenty of it down there, but a lot of people use sunblock, and actually that can prevent the absorption of vitamin D. Vitamin D is one thing, but talk with your doctor about what dose vitamin D is best for you, because it does come in multiple dosages. Also, vitamins A and C and cranberries as well can help with the immune system.
Everyone is doing those energy drinks, but I don't think they're very good for me. So, can you suggest a vitamin that will increase our energy level?
Yeah, our survey actually found that pharmacists tend to shy away from things that contain caffeine and are more likely to recommend protein-based products, also B vitamins and iron. Iron, though, again, is another example of something that you want to talk with a pharmacist about before you go ahead and start taking it just because you think you need it, because it can interact with many drugs, and it also can cause some health issues if you've got something going on, like let's say you've got ulcers and you start taking iron. Well, chances are pretty good that those ulcers are going to get irritated by that. Be very careful with things like iron.
What vitamins are good for your skin to look brighter, your nails to grow longer, and our hair to be shinier?
Well, I don't know that I could promise all those things will happen. But the ones that have shown to have a great effect, for example, on skin, would be vitamins A and C. And again, those are the same ones that you would probably take to boost your immune system and promote your immune function.
What other information can you suggest, Jim?
I would suggest really just expand it beyond vitamins. Anytime you go in and you want to get something over the counter, try to ask. If you don't know, ask what is best for you. And a lot of times what you're going to find is that the pharmacist, who's very sensitive to the fact that people are spending money, may say, hey, look, you don't really need to buy that. You know, you might have something at home that already works. One of my favorite examples is if you've got an insect bite or a bee sting and you're in discomfort, if you've got an antiperspirant at home that contains aluminum, you can rub that on there and it will help to relieve that discomfort. You don't need to go buy something necessarily for that. If you've got a sore throat, you might not need to buy a sore throat spray. If you've got ibuprofen at home, or just salt and water. So these are just little ways that you can help to save your healthcare dollar. I mean, don't forget the pharmacist is the one who has to stand there and take your money from you. And we directly deal with patients who are, upset about the cost of healthcare and want to try to keep their bodies functioning well, which is where vitamins come in, but they also don't want to go ahead and spend money that they don't need to spend. And that's a good way to use your pharmacist.
Thanks, Jim, for joining us this morning. Could a vitamin make antidepressants work better? Folate is found naturally in green leafy vegetables, legumes, nuts, and some fruits, and it's important for cell growth and brain function. Researchers have found that the body converts folate and folic acid, the synthetic version, into an active form called L-methylfolate to produce serotonin and other neurotransmitters that are critical to regulating our mood. In Patty Fry's case, her depression was treated for over 10 years, and then her medication stopped working.
Just basic day-to-day living was difficult, not wanting to get up, really isolating myself and not being involved in life. My dogs, my animals, I'm passionate about, and I couldn't even get up and, walk the dogs or interact much with the animals, which is what I do all the time, when I'm feeling well. I've had times where I get to the point that I'm not able to function. So it gets into nonstop crying, feeling hopeless, and not being able to be involved with anything outside of home. So I think I get pretty reclusive too, and I know that that's not the way it should be, so that's an indicator to me to get help.
Patty's medical team, Dr. Thomas Gazda and Kara Quaid, a psychiatric nurse practitioner, studied Patty's medical history of depression and decided her condition might actually be connected to a nutritional deficiency in her brain and a lack of L-methylfolate.
It's as if in some patients the brain is malnourished. It just doesn't have enough of this chemical, and patients may be eating enough folate in their diet. Folate is a common supplement to foods, and they might be even eating their vegetables, although most of our patients aren't probably eating as many vegetables as they should, but still, some patients are, but they may be lacking an enzyme that breaks down folate into the methylated form. And if they are lacking in that enzyme, then no matter how much folate they eat, they're just not going to get enough of the methylated folate, which actually can cross into the brain and really help with this manufacturing of neurotransmitters that is so important to patients who are depressed. 70% or so of patients who suffer from depression, we believe, are missing one of the enzymes that helps break down folate into the methylated form of folate. And you can't get folate into your brain unless it's methylated. It won't cross the blood-brain barrier. So it won't do your brain any good. It won't help you make the neurotransmitters that you need, that is serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine, unless it can cross into the blood-brain barrier. So this is an exciting idea, and to help patients with depression to use this medical food to help their malnourished brains, if you want to call it that.
Patty began taking a new brain food in pill form every day.
And I think it was within 3 or 4 days, I started to not feel so like the weight of the world was on my shoulders, or that I had this dark cloud encompassing me. I was fortunate enough that that was the thing that, improved my life. I'm doing work that I love, and I'm able to enjoy it. I think that's the thing, is that the capability to feel good or to enjoy life in general just wasn't there. So I'm actively involved, with my friendships, with my animals, and with work. So everything is as it should be right now.
In Patty's case, her brain food, Deplin, is covered by her insurance. To see if you or a loved one is covered, please get more information at Deplin.com. According to the American Heart Association, 79 million Americans suffer from heart disease. The National Coalition for Women with Heart Disease advocates to set a healthier table. This simple way can manage your family's cholesterol and protect overall heart health. Joining us this morning is celebrity chef Herb Mesa, who partnered with Women Heart to educate us on how to lower cholesterol and choose foods with plant sterols to incorporate into our everyday family meals. Good morning, Chef Mesa.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm great. So, Chef, how do we know if something says it's healthy that it really is healthy?
probably the easiest way to do it is to stay away from things that you have to read the label and stick to things that are naturally occurring. Fresh fruits and vegetables are very high in plant sterols. Nuts, legumes are very high in plant sterols. So that's one easy way of doing it. And then just basically, it starts from breakfast into lunch and into dinner, just making the right choices, making sure you have fruits in your breakfast, even fruit in your salad sometimes, and focus on eating more fruits and vegetables. And it's also found in a lot of oils.
When I cook, I sometimes try to stay away from oils and use butter substitutes. Is that good?
I try to stay away from the margarines and try to stick more to the more naturally occurring things like a corn oil or like olive oil. Canola oil has 40 times as much plant sterols than olive oil, and Mazola corn oil is higher in that than all of them. So it's just making the right choices in your oils.
We speak of plant sterols. What are plant sterols?
Well, plant sterols are naturally occurring nutrient that's found in most fruits, in all fruits, vegetables, nuts, and in oils. And what it does is helps your body fight off bad cholesterol by absorbing a lot of that bad cholesterol.
Larry King hung up his suspenders last year after 25 years as one of America's most respected journalists. What his fans may not know is Mr. King has a history of heart problems. Here to help us kick off Heart Health Month is his son, Larry King Jr., who is also the president of Larry King Cardiac Foundation. Thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. King.
Good morning. It's great to be with you.
So why did your father start the Larry King Cardiac Foundation, and what is its mission?
25 years ago, we almost lost, my father to heart disease. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. He had quintuple bypass surgery. He came out of that, and like he always does, starts asking questions as soon as he was ready to go. And he found that, of course, CNN at the time paid for that, and he had the money to pay for that surgery. So he started a foundation, that Larry King Cardiac Foundation, that provides life-saving cardiac care to people that don't have insurance or the financial ability to pay for that surgery.
Why is it important for Americans to recognize Heart Health Month?
Well, over 60 million Americans have some sort of heart disease and suffer from it. And it's the #1 killer of men and women in America. So, with February being Heart Month, it's a good time to talk about it.
So what are some things that can help support a healthy heart?
Well, I'm big into diet and exercise, and it's something that we talk to our patients about. One of the things that I'm a big proponent of fish oil, like just a little vitamin like this one. This is a highly concentrated mini Ultra Omega-3. And it's great to put in your diet. Omega-3 has been known to lower your triglyceride levels, so I think it's something that it's important for you to eat right and supplement right also.
What role do vitamins and supplements play in supporting heart health?
Well, I think any time that you can make sure that you're exercising and supplementing correctly, you're doing well. That's why I mentioned omega-3s, because again, you can get it naturally, certainly, through eating fish and then taking supplement.
So Larry, what does your father do now to keep his heart healthy?
Two things. One, as I mentioned, reading the labels. One of the things we do every morning. He was just actually in Tampa. I live in Tampa, and we were having our raisin bran. We're eating this new cinnamon almond. We really like it. Putting blueberries on it, and what Kellogg's has done is they've made it easier than having to read all the details within the label. They put a symbol on the box that says Heart Healthy Selection. They put that on 9 varieties of their cereals, and a lot of companies are starting to do this. So, look for that, and you're certainly ready to go. Also, my father's very big into new technologies and what's out there. One of the things that he uses, I use this too. We promote this certainly from the foundation to give this to our patients. The M-Wave heart monitor. It's a great way to balance. I'm actually doing this right now. You just put your finger right here. Looks like my colors are doing pretty good. The idea is to balance your brain and your heart. so that you can get some stress out of your life. I use this actually to sleep, to get to sleep better, so that your day, you get kind of crazy, and sometimes even with my 3 kids running around there in Tampa, that this helps me make sure I'm balanced.
Where can we go to get more information on the Larry King Cardiac Foundation?
Well, you can go to our website at lkcf.org. But I would tell I would tell anybody viewing this and doing that is that talk to your doctor, ask questions to your doctor. A lot of people go and visit a doctor, they don't ask questions, they just listen. Ask questions, get the right diet, and everything's about modification. You got to modify. It doesn't mean you're not going to shift one side, but modify your diet and certainly get out there and exercise. Take a good walk.
Thank you for joining us, Larry. Our resources today addressed February's Heart Health Awareness. We know that an organized workplace will de-stress and declutter our lives. Eating foods with plant sterols and feeding our family healthy meals along with vitamin supplements will keep our family in great health. And if you suffer from depression, there are supplements for the brain to keep you loving life. And think about how you can help your local school district keep Florida's brightest at the top of their class. Hope you enjoyed today's resources. We look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same stations. Will the solutions to this show's issues help you or a loved one? Find shows like this and others on our website at roselyarchershow.com.